Alrighty guys, it was quite a day. It was one of those mornings where it was so gusty and so windy. We weren't even super confident like if we should even be out here. Cattle, we weren't glassing up cattle, no deer, no nothing. It was just so gusty and breezy and blistery that it was just like, it was hard to glass, hard to see anything. All the animals were hunkered down, and after about an hour of just trying to weather it out, Tove glassed up 3 Coues deer on this hill. One of them I was able to tell was a buck, but it was so windy I couldn't tell if he was like a nice buck or whatever. So the does eventually fed off and left, and the buck turned around and came the opposite way. So I glassed him the entire time, and finally it was still enough to where I was able to see that it was an 8-pointer. Because I always said I wanted to get an 8-pointer for my first Coues deer buck, at least an 8-pointer, and was able to establish he's an 8-pointer after trying so hard with the spotting scope and having it just shake like crazy because of the wind. Wasn't able to get any footage on this phone scope or anything because the wind was shaking the bino so much it would have been pointless. Finally watched him go out of sight into a canyon right over here, and he was moving so slow I figured maybe I can get over there and get eyes on him. So I booked it, gained a lot of ground, and got to the edge of the ravine. Sure enough, he was in there with 2 does that he had picked up, a doe and a fawn. They were about 250 yards, and I had nowhere to go, so I grunted at him a couple times, and it got the whole group's attention, and they moved across the hill right in front of me. Unfortunately, it was about 120 yards, so it was out of range, obviously. But then he kind of went over the hill just enough to where I could drop in the ravine and come across. And as I was creeping across to where I had thought I had last seen him, I saw him spook, and a doe spooked, and they didn't really know what would happen because it was so windy. He stopped broadside, was able to draw the Bowtech and put a good arrow in there right in his shoulder, and the exit was right behind the shoulder. My broadhead's buried in there still, and right away he started to lose his front end and pile up, so he didn't go far at all. And really cool. Today's definitely one of those days that goes to show persistence and time in the field is the most important thing. There's no substitute for that, and we were out here and we got it done. So super blessed to share it with my dad and all the viewers as well now. It's pretty cool. Thank you to everyone who's watched the videos so far from this trip, and be sure to subscribe because Tove still has a tag and we're still going to be trying to get the job done for him. So exciting stuff. Really blessed to get this nice Coues deer buck on the over-the-counter tag here in Arizona on public land with the bow. Can't beat it. So first Coues deer ever, dandy 8-pointer, and couldn't be more pleased. So thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next clip.
Got boogers out at my nose. Here we are. 1 Coues deer in my pack. James has the cape and the rack and a bunch of weight, and I got the Coues deer, and it's not too bad. They aren't that big a deer. We gotta walk, I don't know, about a mile. So we ought to be all right. It's nice and cool.